Thyda Robotics Junior Academy Chapter 2, Dream Sequence 1 at Chameleon Junior High School, Episode 1, 25Mar 2021. Honolulu, Hawaii, January 2017. Anyone who thought it a good idea to go surfing minutes before school started would never be an ideal candidate for Thyda Robotics Junior Academy's 7th grade Student Athlete of the Year for the 2016-2017 school year. We 3 7th grade boys knew it quite well. Thyda Robotics Junior Academy neither promoted nor condoned its students' participation in either non-organized or organized sports. It was Wednesday, and the notion of ditching school was appealing to fight the doldrums. No school patrols ever came to Kokomo Beach. The sand was too soft, so their patrol golf carts got stuck. It was too much of a risk to chase after the local kids surfing during school hours. Indeed, the patrols had mistaken us for tourists several times. That prank got old fast. We were without any excuse. It was 7:30, and we were seriously contemplating whether or not to surf. We stood side by side and stared blankly into the cerulean water and the waves. The sky was clear blue with 85 degrees winds. The bright sunshine and high wind speeds made it an ideal time for surfing. Only adult tourists were surfing, though. We knew they were tourists because no local adults surfed this early in the morning. Furthermore, their gear was new. They'd overdone it with their safety attachments. That their boards weren't scratched and that they boisterously shrieked in excitement separated them from the locals who surfed. I stood between Maui and Kai. They were both about an inch taller than I. We were shirtless and shoeless. Our shorts were from yesterday. We had ankle strings attached to our boards, which we held upright in our right hands. We listened to the sound of rushing water coming to rest at the shoreline, accompanied by soft winds. The daylight played devil's advocate with our minds. It was problematic to surf for 15 minutes and then run to the academy. Principal Jill P. Jacqueline, or Drama Queen, would have a tantrum over our wet hair and shorts. She'd caught us 3 and others this way in the past. It was either now or never. Time wasn't on our side, and it seemed we had less of it whenever we wanted to do our own thing. At the last moment, we decided not to go surfing. We detached the strings from our ankles, carried our boards under our arms, and started trekking back to the main road, which was about a quarter of a mile up the sandy hill from the seashore of Kokomo Beach. The white sand felt cool under our feet. This pathway had been worn into the ground by us and the other locals over a period of several years. Tourists wouldn't know about this pathway unless they were lost and inadvertently came across it. Both sides of the pathway were filled with bushes, shrubs, flowers, seedlings, other foliage, and undergrowth. Bees, lizards, and rodents scrambled as we passed. Footprints and claw prints of crabs, turtles, and feathered creatures were clearly visibly along the sandy pathway. At the top of the hill, Kokomo Beach Drive ran parallel to the shore and then curved left about 5 miles down the road at the western tip of the beach. There were 2 lanes in each direction. The first lanes were usually filled with parked cars and tour buses. Along both sides of the road were many types of businesses catering to tourists: gas stations, hotels, bed and breakfast houses, guest houses, gift shops, marine rental companies, eateries, coffee shops, and ice cream shops. The businesses on Kokomo Beach Drive thrived on tourism. Barefooted and shirtless with our boards under our arms, we dashed across the street and entered Kai's family's business, Maritime Rentals. His parents, his two adult brothers, and his grandparents had operated the shop for well over 3 decades. Routinely during business hours, customers were either renting equipment or returning it. We made our way to the back room, where Kai's grandparents were repairing some gear. We winked and nodded at them. We stacked our boards on the assigned rack, retrieved our school stuff, put on our t-shirts and flip-flops, then exited through the back door. We took a taxi to the academy. Thyda Robotics Academy was located in the center of Honolulu's busy business district. The building itself blended in among other business buildings. Tourists wouldn't know what it was when they saw it. Most thought the academy was simply another business. Its structure was a perfect cube shape, 1 square mile in width and 15 stories high. Its design with 4 large black windows connecting with the rooftop served as an entertainment center with a cineplex, a huge outdoor pool, a few volleyball courts with authentic beach sand, some shops, and a number of eateries, to name a few. Its ground floor was the street exit. There were 5 floors below and 5 floors above, plus the rooftop. There were several procedures and protocols that needed to be performed before any student or adult researcher would be allowed inside. Once you had come through the main entrance from the street, Honolulu Boulevard, you were met with an oval-shaped reception desk that was totally automated. Mr. Ed, the robot receptionist, welcomed all who walked through the front door. One by one, we proceeded and stood at the designated spot to submit to several scans, starting with the face and eyes, fingerprinting, and DNA matching. I was last. With despondency, I complained, "Mr. Ed, it's me. No need for formality. You see me every day." Mr. Ed was a security automaton named Eorca, integrated, automated residual computerization for all Thyda Robotics Academy students and adult researchers had to pass it to enter. We students had nicknamed it Mr. Ed because the heads of these robots were supposed to look like the head of a Trojan horse. There were 25 Trojan horse-headed Eorcas. We were at the middle station, Eorca 13. Mr. Ed 13 said, "No can do, partner. No exceptions. The biochips are overridden on a case-by-case basis." Once we passed the reception desk, we took the blue-colored elevator, which took students down to the classroom floors and the student-researcher floors. There were other students and some adult researchers moseying back and forth. We stepped into the elevator with 5 other students who were properly attired in academy uniforms. They were obviously in the lower grades. 7th through 12th grade students were given their choice of what to wear to school. On the second floor, Maui and Kai got out. On Wednesdays, those 2 attended NASA lectures called Introductions to Robotics for the Gifted Child. Those 2 and a handful of other chosen ones with atypically high IQs were mandated to attend. Once the elevator reached the 4th floor, I got out. This floor was dedicated to trial and error in robotics development. Before my entire body was out of the elevator, Thyda Robotics Junior Academy Chapter 2, Dream Sequence 1 at Chameleon Junior High School, Episode 1, 25Mar 2021. Honolulu, Hawaii, January 2017.